What's up everyone? Hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to show you how to add a medium format film border to an image. Now why would you do that? Well, it's just cool, man. It's cool. I think it's fun. I'm not a purist. If you want to do it up. So I'm going to add a link to a download in the description so you can use it as much as you want. And we're going to achieve this by using Photoshop, and we're going to extract a film border from an actual Portra 400 scan. Let's go ahead and jump into Photoshop. And if you're new to Photoshop, this is going to be easy. You can follow right along. So let's dive in, team. All right, so we're now in Photoshop, and what we've got here is a scan that I brought in directly from the flatbed scanner, right on the glass, no film holder or anything, and I used the Epson V600 for that. This is a really beautiful image that I'm excited about from a series that I did just recently at a local diner here in Charlotte. So what is important is that we've got the full film border here. I cropped it in just a little bit right where I wanted it, and we've got one single layer from the scan. This is the TIFF file that we're working with, and what we need to do is make a selection that just includes the frame border or the film border. So let's start by going to Select, and then we're going to select Color Range. And I'll show you how this works. It'll bring up this little dialog box, and you see the image immediately goes to this black and white, essentially like the mask appearance, and you can change that, but what we're looking to do is select the black points with this eyedropper, and that'll create our selection based on the color range that we're looking for. You can choose other parts of the image. This is a great way to manipulate certain colors in Photoshop, but for the time being, we're gonna select this black part of the border here, and there you go. You will see that maybe in your image, if you're doing this at home, that you will have other selections that are included. That's okay. We're just going to mask those out pretty easily. So first things first, we've got our selection. Then there's this fuzziness slider, and I think that's like the funniest term in all of Photoshop land, that they chose fuzziness, but that's gonna refine your selection a little bit. As you go down, it's a little more of a limited field and selection based on the parameters you've chosen from your eyedropper, but if you go up, it'll start to include more areas of that color range. But for this example, I think that we'll use about 70. And as I mentioned, we're gonna come in and just remove these bits here. So let's hit OK. And as you can see, we've got the marching ants going around here. That's just revealing what our selection is gonna be. So based on this selection, we're now gonna make a mask, which is a simple click. So the mask tool, let's unlock this layer. Now it's unlocked, and the mask button here is right down below. It's this little circle inside this rectangle. So let's select that. So we've got this really cool, funky looking mask. And what we're gonna do is refine that a little bit. We've got some areas we wanna remove, and we need to clean this up. The lettering from like the Kodak Portra typography is not actually there. You can see it's essentially kind of like a PNG where you have this transparency. So first thing, let's get our brush tool by pressing B. And I've got my flow at 100 and opacity at 100 as well. As far as adjusting your brush, if you hold Control and Option down together, from left to right will increase the diameter, and if you go up and down, that'll increase or decrease your hardness. So I'm gonna keep my hardness at 100%, and then the diameter, well, for this example, I'll say around about 125. And we're gonna make sure we have our mask selected, very important. And then I'm gonna zoom in using Z and drag. And we're just gonna brush in with black. As you can see over here, I've got my default set. Let's go to white, forgive me. We're gonna use white to reveal, a little confusing with the black border, but again, white reveals, black conceals. So let's just brush in here and see what we get. Wow, looks pretty cool. So we're just brushing in this area gently and make sure not to go into this area. Going to reveal that, and up here as well. This little corner had a little nick. And some little like spotty areas, I'm kind of cool with that. I dig it a little bit. Right here, this little crack. I'll leave a little bit of that. I think it's kind of fun. And let's see here. Let's get that. I'm just using spacebar to use this hand tool. Once you hold that, you get the hand tool. You can just slide around. And again, we're brushing in with the white brush here. Sliding on down here. All right, A little bit of funk in here, I like it, I like it. And then now we're gonna switch to the black tool, which is in the backdrop here. We're just gonna use the X key and that'll just rotate those. And we're gonna use that to brush away this bit here. And I'm using the Wacom tablet just to brush through there. And I'm not worried about it being perfect. I'm not super concerned. I think it looks kind of cool. The film borders tend to have that imperfection that I love anyway. So we've got that bit there. And just get that little bit there as well. And zoom in a touch more. Skirt, skirt. Gotcha. Just a little more there. All right, I'm cool with that. Let's zoom out a touch. Looks pretty great. So that's what we're after. So we've got that. And now what I'm gonna do is essentially make these edits final. And it's pretty rare that I would take a mask and do what's called apply the mask. Usually what's great about a mask is a working edit that you can change and adjust as needed. You can go back and reveal something that you want back in there or also conceal it as well. But for this scenario, what we're gonna do is right click, control click there it is, and go to apply layer mask. Boom. What that'll do is take that information from the mask and apply it to the image. Therefore, you no longer have what you've concealed, and then you will have what you've revealed. So we've essentially made this one final layer, which is what we were after, right? And then we now have this beautiful border. Looks great, but just keep in mind you can't go back in and reveal that edit. So that is what it is. We will save as to not ruin that file, and that's it. So what we're gonna do now is simply just save as. Shift Command S, I'm gonna save that on my computer here. We'll do it on the desktop, and I'm just gonna make a new folder called Film Border. Created that, Film Border Vertical. And we can save that as a PSD here. Where are ya? Right up top, obviously. So we'll save that. All right, so up next, we're gonna show you how to use this file. So very simply done, what we'll do is just take any other image that we'd wanna use with the film border and just drag that into the Photoshop file, whether it be the vertical or the horizontal one. So I'm in Lightroom here, and I've got a really beautiful image that I like. I shot just yesterday and developed at home, and I went on a fun walk in this beautiful neighborhood in Charlotte, and there was some beautiful foliage. It's almost spring, so exciting. So I've done that, made some edits here, and then we'll jump over to Photoshop. And I've got the vertical film border here, and we're gonna use that for this image. And I'll go into my Finder, get Photoshop back open there. There we go. And here's the image here. We're just gonna drag that and drop it into this file, the Photoshop file, of course. Simple as that. So dragging that there, and we'll give that a moment to load. Now you will notice that this image file will drop on top of this layer. So we're gonna simply bring it below, so that way the film border is on top and then your image is below. So easy way to do that is to just drag the layer here down below, or we can also do Command left bracket, and that will drop it below. Let me hit enter first to make sure we're placing the image. Command left bracket now, and then there we go, it's below. What's really cool is with this layer selected, you can then adjust and kind of reframe it if you want. I would encourage making sure that it's a smart object first, so that way it doesn't lose the resolution as you go down, then back up. More on that later, but you can adjust as needed. I actually like the framing that I did originally. Shift it over using the shift and left arrow. That feels pretty good. And as simple as that, we'll hit OK. That'll place the file. And then I'm going to save for web. And boom. All right, so there we have it, our image in this beautiful film border. This scan that I did not have the border, so we just added that. We were able to reshape and resize if we needed. And then it's really that simple. So if you like this aesthetic and this vibe, that's all you gotta do. You can download these below. And if you have any questions or problems with them, let me know, send me a comment, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.